Hello, everyone, and welcome to the VZWBuzz recap. Today, we talk about the cloud. And I know we wanted to choose this theme because it can be confusing if you haven't used it, or even if you have used cloud services before. We hope you take a couple of great tips from the chat today, as well as from the recap. Good news, too, is that we are going to give away one of these amazing LG G4 smartphones. This is one of those nicer, bigger form factor phones that is touted as having one of the best cameras on the market. So stay tuned. The way we're going to pick the winner of the LG G4 is by your questions. So please start asking your questions on the stream using the VZWBuzz hashtag, and we will pick from there, answer your questions, and also be able to select the winner from that. So today we have new content for you. We have a short clip explaining the cloud at its most basic level, so that you can get an idea for what are some of the possibilities for using the cloud in your own particular lifestyle. I know we had a great chat and a great series of tips and resources, but we're going to give you a short clip first of how the cloud works. So, Marty, if you can roll that piece.
Regarding computers and mobile devices, when people say, "I'm using the cloud," how many of us think of this? It's not that kind of cloud. Think of the cloud as a big hard drive that lives outside your computer in a remote location which you can access via the internet. Now, why is using the cloud important? Let's talk about 3 ways you can take advantage of the cloud to simplify your life and keep your data more secure and safe. First up is automatic backup of your data. A good example of this is photos you shoot on your smartphone. Each picture you take gets stored automatically to your phone. Now suppose something happens to your phone and it gets damaged. This happened to me a while back when I was swimming and had my iPhone in my pocket. Of course, my phone was toast, but fortunately, my photos and other important data was backed up to the cloud. All was right with the world. Use a cloud service to start automatically backing up your photos and videos. On iOS, there's iCloud and the Apple's Photos app. On Android, there's Google Photos and Google Drive. Dropbox is also another excellent third-party option. For Verizon customers, they're lucky. They have Verizon Cloud, which is designed to work seamlessly with your computer and mobile devices. Whatever you choose, do make it a priority to set up automatic backup now.
Great. So thank you so much, Marty. So I hope that you get a little bit of an idea if it's still a little confusing. But I wanted to remind you of those days when if you have a desktop PC, or if you have a Mac, or if you have, one of those Ultrabooks perhaps, and you use your computer, we used to download programs and applications to do the stuff that we do. We used Office for our documents. We used to have to download applications, and our computers used to get really heavy, so to speak, with all these programs. Now, things like Twitter, Facebook, these are the kinds of things that live on the cloud. So they're not actually on our computers, right? We log on, we use the services, and we log off. They're not heavy or weighing down our hard drives. That's a great example of a cloud application. Now, Sarah Negron is asking, what are the security risks for using the cloud? And one of the things that we like to talk about is backup redundancy, which is simply a fancy word for saying backup multiple times. And Marty's going to queue up another video to show you about that. But so some of the risks is that you can lose your data. And this is why it's so important that you learn to back up in a couple of different places. So the cloud most commonly used by me is services like Dropbox. And what I do is every time I create a document, I just save it there. And when you sign up for Dropbox, you can get a free service or you can get a paid service, depending on how much storage you're going to need. But it's literally like having one of those file cabinets in the cloud, meaning you can access it from anywhere. So the other day, I did this nice presentation. Well, I thought it was nice. And I sent it. I thought I sent it to our client. But then I got in the car to get on the train, and all I had with me was my smartphone. And the client says, I didn't get it. And I'm like, well, I don't have my computer with me, but all I had to do was access Dropbox right from my phone and resend it right from there. So I didn't have to log back on, get on my computer, find the file, put it on email. All I had to do was literally grab the link from Dropbox and send it to that person right from my phone. So it's like having a giant file cabinet. You can put your photos. One of the things that I love doing is backing up my photos automatically onto the cloud. So every time I take a shot, it's on my phone or on my camera, and it's also backed up on Dropbox. Or you can use any of the other services available for the cloud. So keep your questions coming, because we're going to pick your questions for the winner of the LG G4 smartphone. And this takes some wicked good shots, speaking of pictures. Is the tool available to estimate how much cloud space you need? It's a really, really good question. And we're going to investigate that a little bit further for you. But think about it this way. Dropbox will give you a lot more space than I think you will ever need if you sign up. I think it's terabytes now they're being measured. So unless you're doing a lot of videos, and this is also where good high-speed internet connections are important, like files, because you are now sending a lot of files to the cloud to back your movies up on the cloud, your family shots, your family movies. And so it's really important that you have a fast internet service when you're doing that. But backup sizing, so to speak, is one of those things that you can get an idea from individually, depending on how much video you use, how many movies you store, or is it simply files? So I'm going to ask Marty to roll the next part of this clip. And you're asking also, one of the questions was from Diana, was how do I increase my storage limit, and do I need to buy space? We'll address that when we come back. But if you're using Verizon Cloud, for example, to back up your phone, we'll be talking about that and what kind of storage you get. So Marty, if you roll out the next step of the videos.
Cloud is for backup redundancy. So what do I mean by that? A simple way to accomplish this is to implement a 3-2-1 backup strategy. That means 3 copies of your data on 2 different media, with one being off-site. Your 3 copies can consist of the original file on your computer or mobile device and 2 additional backup copies. It's not enough just to have one. One of those copies should be on an alternate form of media, such as a DVD or USB key, and one of the 3 copies should be housed off-site. Now, while you can always make a 3rd copy on an external hard drive and bring that to an off-site location like a trusted friend or family's house, using a cloud service such as Verizon Cloud, Dropbox, Carbonite, or Google Drive is much easier. You can do that right over the internet, no need to get in your car and drive anywhere. There are many services available, but you certainly get the point. You don't have a true backup unless you have multiple copies. Now, the 3rd reason to use the cloud is for syncing your data across multiple devices. It used to be back in the day that most people owned a desktop computer, and that was about it. No smartphones, no tablets, or other connected devices. Today, most people own and use several connected devices, smartphones, tablets, laptops, and for many people, multiples of each. Many times you access the same files in each device, whether it's your calendar, your address book, important documents, or even your family photos and videos. Using a cloud service like Verizon Cloud, Dropbox, Google Drive will keep everything in sync automatically across all your devices and computers. This is also very handy for families where you're likely to have several more devices to manage and keep track of. Now, with all that said, your assignment now is to start taking advantage of what the cloud has to offer to protect your important data and easily sync all your devices. Think about what it would be like if you lost any of your family photos and videos. Now get to work.
Like Marty says, let's get to work. To answer the Verizon Cloud question, when you're on your Verizon wireless plan, you get 5 free gigabytes of storage. If you're on More Everything, which is the other type of plans, you can get up to 25 gigabytes of free storage on Verizon Cloud. And the reason that's great is because, say, for example, as Marty explained earlier, your phone gets damaged or you lose it. What you want to be able to do is you want to be able to have all of your contacts and your photos, your apps, everything that you had on your original phone available to you when you get your new phone or your replacement phone. And so that makes life so much easier. Remember, before we wouldn't trade our phones in because of all the pain of having to, transpose all of the information that was on the original phone. Now with Verizon Cloud, all you have to do is you enter your email, your Gmail, whatever you use to sign up, and everything is there on your phone within seconds. So it's really useful to use the cloud from your wireless provider because of the ease of use that it'll provide when you switch devices. So there's been a lot of great questions on the feed. We're going to go ahead and answer all of them. When you talk about, there's a question, what is the difference between cloud storage and a web server? And that's from Aaron Deere. So essentially, cloud storage lives in a web server. That's where it's housed. So cloud is just a way to say the space that is there. And it's usually a web server, which basically means it's somewhere else other than where you have it. And I hope I got that one right, Marty. If not, jump in. Now, when you're actually doing your backups, I want to underline this. Marty made a good point. When you back up a photo that you took on your smartphone onto the cloud service, don't just delete it from your phone because that's not really backup, right? That means you only still have one copy. And so that's why it's important to think about backing up in multiple places. So that you have at least 2 copies. And then the other thing I would also recommend is that you can also use cloud services to organize your photos and create photo albums. Many of the services out there will allow you to do that. I've used Shutterfly a lot for that purpose and create albums and other things that actually organize my photos. And that way I have them in a way that I can enjoy them. And so that's kind of what we're going to leave you with. We're going to pick the winner of the LG G4. But I did want to ask if you have any more questions, because we are going to be announcing the winner in about 1 minute. Let's see, I see quite a few questions. And don't worry, if you actually want to see this video again with the primer of the cloud, we're going to post that on our Facebook page at The Online Mom, facebook.com/TheOnlineMom. So you can play it as many times as you want to, and also feel free to ask any questions that you have. So I want to thank Verizon for sponsoring our weekly recap. I want to thank Marty and Misty, our producers, amazing producers, always helping me with things on the fly. I think we actually throw a lot of curveballs at them, but they're always smiling and always great, gracious partners. And thanks to all of you for joining us. Thanks to Robin and Jean and the Tech Dad and everyone who makes the time to participate in our mobile lifestyle chats. We love you. I hope you're having a great summer. And the winner of this nice LG G4 is Ninja Mom Allie, aka Alicia S. Congratulations. You're going to get this amazing device today. And stay tuned, because next week, listen up really carefully, we're going to give away 9 of these, 9 on this chat. So the VZWBuzz chat next week will give away 9 LG G4 smartphones. It's a big LG G4 party. So don't miss the chat. Chances for winning one are a lot greater. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we will see you back here next week, Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much.